There are a few things I'll just rapid fire that I did not like in chapter 2, though. Did you have any that like jumped out at you before I go on my rant of like my list?
You know, not so many in chapter 2, but in chapter 3, I definitely had some.
There's a couple that jump out at me in chapter 3, and I bet one of them is exactly the same as yours. But yeah, okay, so chapter 2, overall, pretty amazing chapter, but there were a few things that were unideal. Small things, like I had to look up on the internet how to change your frontline party members. Like, they make you go to the combat settings instead of the party menu, and you're almost always in Final Fantasies, you go to the party menu to change your party. But, so I had to look that up. Not a big deal, especially since once you do it right the first time, you don't have to look it up again. It's fine. It just seemed counterintuitive. I was like, But again, you know, I'm being nitpicky here. And then you probably didn't notice this, but there's a whole like protorelic side quest you can do as part of like Chadley's exploration that actually gives you more backstory to Broden. And there is this like purple warp graphic after getting the protorelic, and it lasts for like 10 minutes. Like, I swear, okay, it's not 10 minutes long, but it's like, and it just sits on this graphic so long. And I was like, is my game frozen? Like, and it happens like twice, I think, in chapter 2. And I thought my game was frozen. So I don't know if it was like a load screen that just lasted forever. I don't know, but it was long.
Never saw it.
Small thing, totally jumped out at me. And then also, can we have more than 10 save slots, please? Like, I want to go back and like...
This is something like, okay, I'm not far enough along for that to matter to me yet, but this is something that I was upset about with 7 Remake.
Like, give us 100. They don't take a lot of data.
What's the point? It doesn't cost you any more money to add more of these save slots. Like, I'm trying to figure out what the purpose is to limiting it to 10.
Right.
Like, what's the reason behind it? Like, it can't be a money reason. Like, it is like these are bits.
I don't know. They have like this auto save, and they're very forgiving. Like, if you lose a battle, you can start the battle over, you know, or go back to like a checkpoint or whatever. So I get that all that's there. But the reason I want more save points is because there are so many scenes that actually change in the cutscenes and the results based on either how well you do with something or like how much rapport you've built up with some of the other characters. And I want to go back and like play those same scenes with the different scenarios and see them all instead of just like looking them up on YouTube. But you can't really do that. You have to play the whole game again and change it up because the 10 save slots is just not enough. I want 100.
That does bring up an oddity to me. The whole like changing your relationship with people.
Okay.
Because like in 11, there was this concept of fame. And if you did a lot of quests for the people of various like towns and whatever,
yes,
it would either increase or decrease your fame. And based on the fame level, you would get like, for example, if you went to the weapon shop, the weapons would be cheaper or the supplies would be cheaper, or an NPC might offer you a spell that you wouldn't otherwise be offered if you didn't have the right fame level. And so like, even in that one, I was like, this is so annoying.
So you don't like that?
It's not that I don't like the mechanic. The problem is like, at least in 11, I don't know about in this game. In 11, you had to put so much effort to raise the fame. Like,
oh, wow. Okay.
Mind you, this is grinding original Japanese MMOs.
Right. This is torture days of Final Fantasy.
It could take you weeks in real life to get your fame maxed in a specific zone.
Yeah.
So that you could be able to not only get cheaper things, but get certain items that you needed to advance like a side quest.
Yeah.
And that was what was annoying. And when it was saying like, oh yeah, well, depending on how you respond, I increased or decreased my thing with Tifa or Aerith. I can't remember.
Well, here's the thing that's the worst about that, though, is the timer.
It was annoying.
It barely gives you enough time to read them. And like, you know, some of them are tongue in cheek, so you have to interpret what they're talking about, you know, and I picked the wrong ones too. The nice thing is that they're much more forgiving. It sounds like in Rebirth than they were in 11. Like, it's pretty easy to get rapport with people. Like, I have green smiley faces with all of my party right now in chapter 8. So it's not terribly hard, but like, I hate countdown rush you timers. I don't like them. I don't like ticking clocks. Don't do that to me. I'm here to explore and have fun. I don't want to be rushed. It stresses me out.
I know, like you rush people through that, but then you put the damn vacuum cleaners and the Tomb Raider stuff. It's like, what?
Right. It's like, wait a minute.
Can you not balance this better?
I just hate timers. And there's a timer issue coming up in chapter 4 that you may not even see, but it is worse. Like, we'll talk about it. And anybody who's played any of the side quests in chapter 4 knows exactly what I'm talking about. The timer sucks.